We play the roles, we check the boxes, we meet the expectations, and we still feel like something's missing. Well, that changes today. There are 7 lessons that every woman needs to learn to step into her full power. These lessons are not easy. They will push you. They will make you uncomfortable. They will force you to take a long, hard look at yourself, as if you were in therapy. But asking yourself the hard questions is how real change happens. When you stop living for validation, when you let go of what other people think, and when you finally decide to honor your own desires, you unlock a life that's not just beautiful, but deeply fulfilling. If you're ready to stop doubting, stop overthinking, and start becoming the woman you've always known you could be, let's dive in. Grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's get real. Let's start with a hard one, validation. How often do you catch yourself waiting for somebody else to tell you that you're enough? Maybe it's a compliment or a like on Instagram or someone acknowledging your hard work. Be honest with yourself. How much of your confidence comes from other people? And here's the truth. External validation is a trap. It feels good in a moment, like a quick hit of dopamine, but it doesn't last. The more you rely on it, the more you need it. It becomes this endless cycle of seeking approval only to feel empty again when it fades. So what happens when the compliments stop? When no one notices your effort? When the validation you've been chasing just doesn't come? What, does your confidence crumble? Or do you still feel grounded in who you are? Real confidence, lasting confidence, doesn't come from other people. It comes from within. It's built on the belief that your worth is not tied to anybody else's opinion. And here's what I want you to try today. The next time you catch yourself seeking approval, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, why do I need their approval right now? Also ask yourself, are you proud of yourself regardless of what anyone else thinks? Or do other people's opinion actually define your value? Then start practicing self-validation. Every morning, look in the mirror and say to yourself that you are enough, that you are worthy, and that you trust yourself. And I want you to say it like you mean it, even if it feels awkward, because over time, it won't just be words. It will be something you start to believe. But let me be clear. This is not about shutting people out or ignoring feedback. It's about learning to trust your own voice first. The less you rely on other people to feel good about yourself, the more grounded and resilient you'll become. And here's the best part. As soon as you stop looking outside of yourself for approval, you'll realize something really profound. The only person who has the power to change your life is you. If you were to take a really good look at your life, would you say that you're truly happy with where you are right now? If your answer is no, or even not really, it's time to have a very, very honest conversation with yourself. Because here's the truth. Your life is your responsibility. It's not your parents' job to make you happy. It's not your partner's job to fulfill your dreams. And it's definitely not society's job to give you the life that you want. That's on you. Now, I know that might sound overwhelming, but here's the flip side. It also can make you feel incredibly empowered, because if your life is your responsibility, that means you have the power to change it. But it starts with owning where you are right now. And that includes the good, the bad, and even the parts that you'd rather not admit to yourself. Taking ownership isn't about blaming yourself. It's not about beating yourself up for past mistakes. It's about recognizing that every choice that you've made, big or small, has led you to this moment. And if your choices got you here, that means your choices can also get you somewhere better. So here's your challenge. Pick one area of your life where you feel stuck. It could be your career, your relationships, or even your health. Ask yourself, what choices have I made that brought me here? What small step can I take today to start moving forward? Maybe it's having a difficult conversation. Maybe it's updating your resume. Or maybe it's something as simple as committing to 10 minutes of self-care every day. Whatever it is, start small, but start. This isn't about being perfect, it's about making progress. Every small step you take is proof to yourself that you are capable of creating the life that you want. And here's the thing, when you start taking ownership of your life, you start to discover who you really are. And that brings us to lesson 3. Know yourself. Know your strengths, your weaknesses, what your definition of womanhood is. So how well do you really know yourself? Not just your favorite color or what you like to eat, but the deeper stuff, your values, your triggers, your strengths, your weaknesses. Do you know what makes you feel alive? Do you know what drains you? Here's the thing. You cannot create a life that feels good if you do not understand who you are. And so many of us, we spend years living by somebody else's definitions of success, of beauty, and even what it means to be a woman. But let me ask you, what does being a woman mean to you? What are the values that guide your decisions? What makes you feel most like yourself? When you take the time to know yourself, but really know yourself on a deeper level, you stop letting the world define you. You stop chasing somebody else's idea of success, and then you start creating your own. This week, take 30 minutes to journal on these prompts. What are your top 3 strengths? What are your top 3 weaknesses? And what does being a woman means to you? And answer all these questions based on your truth, not what you've been told. Now, self-awareness is the foundation of everything. The better you understand yourself, the easier it becomes to make decisions that align with your truth. And when you know who you are, you start living unapologetically based on what you want. Which brings us to the next lesson: honoring your desires and going after what truly lights you up. So let me ask you, when was the last time you went after something you truly wanted, just for you? No second guessing, no worrying about how it might look, no stopping to wonder if it's too much or too selfish. For so many of us, especially as women, we've been taught to put ourselves last. We prioritize everyone else's needs, even at the expenses of our own. We downplay our desires, we shrink ourselves, and we convince ourselves that our desires aren't as important as everybody else's. But let me tell you this, neglecting your dreams isn't noble. It's self-abandonment. Your goals, your passions, your vision for your life, they matter. They're not random. They're not too much. They're a part of who you are. And honoring them is how you honor yourself. So here's what I want you to do. Think of one thing that you've been putting off. Maybe it's starting that business, learning a new skill, or even making time for rest. Whatever it is, write it down. Make it clear. Then break it into one small step that you can take today. Maybe it's researching how to get started, or blocking out an hour on your calendar, or telling someone about your goal for accountability. And if you need accountability, go ahead and just put it in the comments below and we can all keep you accountable. The key is to stop waiting for the right time and start now. Your desires are valid. They don't need to make sense to anybody else. They just need to matter to you. And when you start pursuing them unapologetically, you'll realize that living authentically feels so much better than playing small ever did. Let's shift gears for a moment. Have you ever shared something personal, maybe a goal, a struggle, or even a win, and immediately regretted it? Maybe the person you shared it with didn't respond the way you hoped. Maybe they projected their fears onto you, or their reaction made you question yourself. Not everyone in your life needs to have full access to your inner world. Oversharing can leave you vulnerable to judgment, negativity, or even unintentional discouragement. This does not mean that you can't share with anyone. It means being intentional about who you share with. Ask yourself, does this person truly support me? Will their feedback help me or hold me back? Have I processed this fully on my own first? Because sometimes, honestly, the best thing you can do is move in silence. Build quietly. Work on your goals without seeking external input. And when you're ready to share, do it from a place of strength, not uncertainty. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It's necessary. And when you stop oversharing, you create space for what truly matters, like building financial independence. Okay, let's talk about money. How confident do you feel about managing your finances? For so many of us, money feels overwhelming. Maybe you weren't taught how to budget or how to invest. Maybe you've been told that money isn't your thing. Or maybe you've been conditioned to believe that somebody else should handle it for you. But here's the truth, sis. Financial empowerment is not just about paying your bills. It's about freedom. It's about being able to make choices that align with your values, your goals, and your dreams. And financial freedom, that is life-changing. So like with everything else, start small. So here's a simple plan. I will start by tracking my spending. Write down every dollar that you spend for the next week. Awareness is the first step to taking control. I would also set a budget. Break your income into 3 categories: essentials, savings, and fun. Even if it's not perfect, just start somewhere, anywhere. I would also recommend that you start learning about investing. Check out beginner-friendly resources like The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins, or apps like Acorns to dip your toes into investing. Money does not have to feel intimidating. Every step that you take towards understanding and managing your finances bring you closer to the life that you want. Let me ask you this, right? Are your friendships lifting you up or holding you back? The women in your life have a huge impact on your confidence, your energy, and your growth. Healthy friendships are built on trust, support, and mutual respect, not competition, and definitely not jealousy. But here's the hard truth. Not every friendship is meant to last forever. I definitely learned that lesson the hard way. Because as you grow, you might outgrow certain relationships, and that's okay. The right friendships, though, They will come and they will transform you. They will remind you of your strength. They will celebrate your wins, and they will hold you accountable, and they will support you when life gets hard. So this week, I want you to do one thing to nurture your friendships. Maybe reaching out to someone you haven't connected with in a while, plan a coffee date, or even a quick phone call to check in. Or if you're looking for new friendships, I would join a group or community that aligns with your interests. Building and maintaining friendships takes effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. When you surround yourself with women who genuinely support you, you create a circle that helps you rise higher than you would have done otherwise if you were going on your own. I know we covered a lot today. We talked about the 7 lessons that can completely transform your life, and I think every woman should know this. But here's the thing, nothing changes unless you take action. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of these lessons, whichever one you connected with the most, and commit to applying it this week. Maybe you're gonna start small with self-validation, or tracking your spending, or reaching out to a friend. Whatever it is, just start somewhere. Because growth is not about being perfect. It's about showing up for yourself, even when it's difficult. So let me know in the comments which lesson spoke to you the most. I would love to hear how you're planning to apply it. And if this video gave you something to think about, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can keep having these conversations together. And don't ever forget that you are powerful, you are capable, and you are so worthy of the life that you dream about. Now go out there and create it. I'm cheering you on every step of the way.